Hello and welcome to the podcast. No, this is Weird World Weekly. If you're listening and you think you're getting Weird World Weekly with Dave, you're actually wrong. Corey and I from the podcast is here took it over because it's Halloween, and I feel like that is the right thing to do is to take over as much of the Galactic Nutcast as we can because soon we're just going to take over the world. So with me as always is Corey. Dave told us we had to tone it down, so this might be a little difficult for us, but I think we can manage to get through it. For those unfamiliar with what Weird World Weekly is, I am actually generally on the show. I just don't talk till about 2 minutes in when Dave's done talking. But this is a show where we discuss all things that are weird, odd, strange, unusual, and paranormal. Excuse me. When it comes to the paranormal, mythological, conspiratorial, anything else, this is usually Dave. I don't know how to handle this. No.
You could have warned me. I would have read the opening stuff for you.
No, it's fine. You're stuck reading the white man's business on this show too. So on this show, Dave usually makes me spin a wheel and get real awkward and sweaty. I have just decided to pick 2 Halloween-style stories, including one that's pretty relevant. We talked briefly about it. We will get into it after you do the white man announcements.
Yes. So if you want to know more about Weird World Weekly and the other shows that you can find Matt or myself on, as well as Dave, unless we've actually slaughtered him off the air, and that's why he's not here, you can go to gncast.com. You can subscribe to our feeds, either singly or the mega feed through iTunes or Stitcher. And if you like what you hear, you can give us a little review. And you can leave us feedback by emailing us at galacticnetcast@gmail.com or leave us a voice message by going to galacticnetcast.com. We've got the information on the site there. And of course, you can always join the Galactic Collective by going to galacticnetcast.com or looking us up on our Facebook page.
Yes. Yes, you can. And it will be awesome. As I mentioned, I'm not going to spin the wheel because I don't want to get sweaty tonight. So on the Weird World Weekly Super Special Podcast of Terror Halloween Edition, the first story we're going to cover is about these world's 7 most haunted places. This is awesome because I love haunted stuff, and I love this time of year, and there's a freaking exorcism on TV coming up. Ow! Yes. I just got really excited. The first most haunted location is it's a house in Colemanskop,
Namibia.
Okay.
Namibia.
Yeah,
you know you just go ahead. You just take that from me.
It's a diamond mining town in the south of I don't know if it's Namibia or Namibia, built in 1908 and deserted in 1956. Since then, the desert has slowly reclaimed its territory, with sand invading the buildings, where 350 German colonists and more than 800 local workers lived during the heydays of the 1920s.
Yeah, I would have looked at this and just assumed it was Phoebe's friend's beach house that they went to on Friends that was all filled up with sand damage.
But I didn't watch Friends. I was hanging out with girls.
I had to watch TV for girls. I guess there's a Happy Days game involved. That's all I know.
Oh, I honestly have no idea. Scanning through this article, it doesn't say that there's a specific part of the house that is strictly haunted. Some are deeply mysterious, maybe even spiritual. Others are downright unnerving. But they all do have one thing in common. They seem to exist partly in the known world and partly in the shadow realm.
Yeah.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, most of these relate to famous figures. There's a listing for Edgar Allan Poe's gravesite in Westminster in Maryland. And then a lot of the slides in the article on time.com have to do with Ed Gein's house.
He's from Wisconsin. Fun fact, I dated a girl and this is like one of those far-fetched things, but her mom's friend's uncle was the guy who arrested Ed Gein.
Wow.
Yes. Well, granted, Plainsfield's not far from where I grew up by like maybe 2 hours, but good old Ed Gein.
I believe that I've eaten some of his jerky.
What?
No, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. Like you had mentioned, there's just a lot of pictures, slides, and it just kind of says what the place is. I was hoping for a little more detail as to why they find it haunted, why they think it's haunted.
Yeah, there's nothing that really says that any kind of spirits come out or that
I,
you hear chainsaws in the background or
felt like I was missing part of the article, and I'm like, oh, did Dave prank us real good and just gives me like three-quarters of an article?
no spectral farting. I don't understand exactly what it is. I mean, they all look spooky.
Well, yeah, the Sleepy Hollow, New York is in here, where the author Washington Irving is buried. That's all it says. It just says a picture, and then I'm yelling at Dave. Dave, I'm shaking my fist at you.
The wheel would have skipped this, Dave.
Probably, or at least given it a little more context.
It is. It looks like it's one of those old Time Life books. Maybe not Time Life. Maybe it's a newer book. But remember the Time Life books? No, you don't. You were 10.
I went through a Catholic grade school. They were poor. I remember Time Life books.
The Time Life books, they used to do the advertisements for all the time about either like the deadliest outlaws of the West or books about war and things. And then like, what's that story? Read the book. And I think this is the world's most haunted places is the book that they're advertising for this. So it's an ad. We got caught in an ad.
Yep. Dave, spot check your work. In all honesty, might buy this book.
Yeah, I mean, it with stuff like this in there, it is interesting enough that I would like it for my coffee table. I would have to probably start drinking coffee. It says, so get ready if you dare to encounter any number of ghosts, ghouls, yetis, haunted dolls, and other things that go bump in the night. Get your copy today in stores.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I think we've spent enough time on Time's ad.
Yeah. Thanks for being a sponsor, Time Magazine.
Yeah. Checks in the mail, right? Time Magazine? Or probably. If they even hear this, they're probably laughing. Yeah. So I'm going to let you introduce the next story because I'm honestly a little scared to look at the picture.
Yeah, this is the money. This creepy video puzzle contains threatening messages and nobody knows who made it. So a DVD containing satanic imagery allegedly arrived in a Sweden-based tech blog, and the cryptic warnings hidden within are driving the internet mad. The site claims the DVD included a 2-minute video of a human figure dressed in a plague-era doctor's outfit. That's the ones with the elongated nose, like what Alec Baldwin stretched his face out in Beetlejuice to look like, complete with the iconic bird-like mask and black shroud. And the video is mildly insane.
It's unnerving. It's super duper unnerving. Did you watch the whole video?
I did. And I mean, watching the video, it's not like there's a lot that you can just look at it and pick up. It's this figure encloaked and wearing that mask in what looks like a tore down tenement style thing. There's some graffiti behind him. But he does things with his hands and they start twitching, and he holds up his right hand and it's got a light that's kind of beaming out of it. But apparently the video has been torn apart. The sound has been torn apart, and they've used stuff to check and find images that are in it. Things that say phrases like "you are already dead," and they show a person, possibly a woman, being tortured or tied up. There's also a skull with a bunch of binary numbers and cryptographic imagery. And something, they discovered Morse code that translate to the phrase red lips like 10th with coordinates on the puzzles that happen to be the location of the White House. And red lips like 10th, if you decrypt it, is kill the president.
Yeah, I remember when I first read that. Oh God. To be honest, this is probably gonna end up being like some kids, some teenagers or something, really smart, thought that they could pull one over, no one would figure out what this was, and they're probably gonna end up in a world of hurt.
Yeah, I mean, this thing. There's several articles about this. So they found that this was actually posted even earlier than when they found this DVD months ago. And the person who posted that had a watermark on it But since the newer videos don't have the watermark, they know it's not just copies of that. It is getting passed around. They've tried to track down people on Twitter whose names have come up associated with it. They've tried to follow it around. There's no real telling, but there are a couple of things that they've wanted to blame it on. They've wanted to blame it on the 12 Monkeys TV show. They say that it may be some sort of advertisement for that, but it seems kind of a weird thing for it to have come out when it did, considering that the 12 Monkeys, I think, had already been done for the season when it started popping up. And there's a movie coming out that is based off of one of Dan Brown's books, and they think it might be advertising for that because there's some similar imagery that's supposed to be used in it. But nobody really knows. That's just the thing, is nobody really knows. But they have found the place where it was filmed in, I want to say it was Prague or something. And somebody went and toured the area and looked around.
Oh, it was shot in Otwock, Poland.
Yes. And so there's better pictures now of the graffiti that was behind the guy. They still don't really know anything as to why this was made or how it's getting sent around. But I watched it and I was like, okay, this is it. This is the ring. I'm going to die in 7 days.
Or a year.
Yeah. They say within a year or less, that you will die. And thanks for giving me this one, Dave.
I actually think I was the one that sent him this, but yeah, I can't. I think I saw it was like a week ago. I only watched the GIF. Like I said, I was watching it in bed or something as I found it. So the last thing I was going to do was watch the actual video because it's just strange and uncomfortable and weird to watch. There's nothing terrifying about it. It's just weird.
It's just unnerving because there's nothing straight up terrifying. There's not anything there's no violence unless you like tear it apart and look at the stuff behind the scenes. There's no implied threat. It's just something that you watch and you're like, what is this? Why is this? How am I seeing this? And what does it all mean? And it's the hitting meaning that makes it scarier.
I think what makes it the scariest is that you don't know what the meaning is. Yeah, there's all this stuff that whoever made it, regardless of their purpose for making it, if it was a joke or it was not meant to get out and it got out or whatever the hell is happening, they spent a lot of time putting this stuff in there for a reason. Now, whatever the reason is, I'm curious to know, but why figure out the coordinates of the White House and put them in there? Why, make red lips like 10th or whatever that's supposed to be kill the president? Now, it could also be something else. I don't know. I'm not going to spend the time to figure out what those letters might also spell, but I don't know. It's intriguing to know why the person did what they did.
Yeah, red lips like 10th sounds like an 80s club song. I don't really know that I would have gone straight to kill the president from that, but I try to avoid thinking things like that because I've seen The State and they said that that'll just get you arrested. I do think that the amount of work put in this, it's impressive. Absolutely. If nothing else, it's an impressive, if it's a marketing scheme, if it's, meant to be a warning to somebody, if it's something to do with Anonymous, who are the people I think would have the most skills at doing something to this degree, then yeah, hats off to you, man. But just remember, I gave you praise. Please don't kill me.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully support Anonymous, but they've speaking of them, bringing them up in context, is they've mentioned a lot of times that our time is close. Something bad's about to happen and something is going to happen soon. So this could just be another tactic that they're using to reach people. Their videos on the internet maybe weren't cutting it, so they've decided to make some creepy video from Poland, and that's how people are going to get it. And not only that, but the timing, and I know it was originally uploaded like months ago, but that could have also been all part of the strategy. Upload it, pull it down, upload it, pull it down, and then start sending out these DVDs right around Halloween.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of things converging into what is a pretty creepy story.
Absolutely. absolutely. I'm excited to see what happens, assuming it doesn't result in death for you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens to somebody else.
Well, you watched it, so
I did.
I did not.
I don't have very good vision. Does that count?
Maybe you didn't have your glasses on.
No, I did. They're
Oh
bifocals. I saw it twice as bad.
gosh, I was trying to save you there. I apparently am unable to save you because you're unwilling to be saved.
Don't lie to death, man. That's one of those tricks that you just learn straight from the River Caron.
Well, there you go. I believe that's probably gonna wrap it up with Corey's quote: "Don't lie to death." It's a pretty good quote for Halloween, in my opinion. So with that, thank you very much for listening to us. Corey, thank you for being here. Dave, thanks for being sick so we could take over Weird World Weekly for the Halloween edition. Um,
Next
yeah,
time I want a wheel.
uh, tell Dave to get me the wheel then. Ship
Yeah.
the wheel down from Canada so that we can spin the wheel. The wheel skip over sucky videos. Sucky videos. Sucky, sucky news stories. Well, that about does it. So happy Halloween from Galactic Netcasts, and we will Dave and I will catch you next time on Weird World Weekly. Make sure you listen to the podcast of Terror with Corey and I and everything else. Barking dog.
Keep it weird.
Keep it weird. I'm glad you said it. I completely forgot about it. I usually just sit there and wait for Dave to say words. You can talk now. I stopped.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
That's why I started talking to you.
Okay.
Let's see here.
That was mild.
Yeah.
I was excited to see that story, though.
Yeah, me too. Halloween.